It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood, and today we're out here with 7.5 pounds of chuck roast. We're gonna be turning these into a pulled beef that we're gonna use throughout the week for meal prepping. But this is one of my favorite ways to make beef outside of a brisket. These chuck roasts can be very inexpensive if you shop around or you wait till things are on sale, and they're pretty darn easy to cook. I'm gonna show you the method that I use to make the best pulled beef using these chuck roasts. Now let's get started. So we've got two twin chuck roasts here, right? For the most part, there's not a lot of prep. We're gonna treat a lot of this like we treat a brisket cook because we want to build up that bark, we want to break down the collagens and that tissue to make them super tender. But we need to push it past where we normally would for a brisket because we want this to pull apart. Now prep-wise, way easier than a brisket. There's a few things on here, like you see here, that we're gonna trim off. For the most part, the prep is very simple. So get yourself a sharp knife and get in there and just trim a little bit of that fat off. There's no need for that excess on the side. And if you see any that is oxidized, be sure to remove that as well. Now we got a little bit of fat here as well we're gonna trim off because when we pull it, we don't want that super excess fat here. Realistically, that's about all the prep that you need to make. Now it's time to season it. Now this meat is not slimy, it's not real wet, it's not real watery. Sometimes when you pull these out of that cellophane packaging, these can be super wet. Not the case today. Now today we're gonna be using the Bearded Butch's Bold seasoning. This is a great beef seasoning, no sugar, no MSG, nothing like that. They make some incredible seasonings. They're also local to Ohio, so I kind of have that Ohio pride going for me. But we're gonna get this seasoned up very generously. Now, know that this is a big thick cut of beef, and just like brisket, it's okay to get it seasoned real well. We're gonna work our way around this chuck roast. Now when you're choosing a chuck roast, I like to look for a little bit of the marbling. I like to get a little bit of that fat down into the muscle. It's gonna make for a more tender, juicier cut in general. It's gonna be easier to shred as well. So these right here, as you can see, is perfect for what we're trying to do. Let's get this other one seasoned up quick, and then we'll get these on the smoker. Now we've got both of these chuck roasts seasoned up. I'm gonna explain to you a little bit about what we're gonna do today. I already said once, we're gonna be treating this like a brisket. So we're gonna smoke this in that low and slow range. Today we're gonna run the Lone Star Grills at 265 degrees. That's in the upper portion of that low and slow, no problem. Throughout the cook, we're gonna be using some beef broth. I'm gonna use unsalted beef broth. We're gonna be using this for several reasons. During the cook, when the surface of the meat dries a little bit, we wanna make sure that we don't let the meat completely dry out. So once that rub is intact and the surface looks dry, we're gonna be spritzing some of that beef broth onto the surface. We're gonna do that as long as we need to keep the surface a little moist and to keep it from drying out. It'll also help build up that bark. Now, the other portion that we're gonna be using this beef broth for is towards the end of the cook. Once we reach the optimal bark, which for me is usually in that 160 to 170 range, I try to push it as far as I can. But once I get the optimal bark, we're gonna be putting this into a foil pan with some chopped onion and beef broth, and then we're gonna be braising it to the optimal tenderness. Most of the time, that's 200 to 210 degrees. It's all about checking with the probe. When it feels like it's gliding like butter, then you know it's done. But hey, enough talking about it out here in the snow, up here at the prep table. Let's get over here to the Lone Star Grills, which is fired up at 265 degrees, and let's get these bad boys on. All right, let's get these chuck roasts into the Lone Star Grills. Now I'm gonna put the thickest one closest to the heat source, so it's gonna be a little bit more on this side, and then I'm gonna put this one here, right like so. Before I get this closed up, I have my ThermalWorks RFX wireless probe, literally the best wireless probe on the market. Anyone who doubts that hasn't used one. Anyone who thinks something else is better hasn't used one. I'm gonna get this placed into the thicker one, and I'm gonna get it placed optimally into the center and into the thickest part of this chuck roast. We're gonna use that to monitor the cook. We're gonna get this thing closed. Now, with these chuck roasts, there's literally nothing else that we have to do other than to spritz them. Now today I'm using the Lone Star Grill's pellet grill because, as you can see, the weather's pretty crappy. It's cold out here. It's been snowing all night. It's hard to believe it was almost 60 2 days ago, but that's Ohio for you. No matter what anyone says about their pellet grill, their pellet smoker, there is not a better pellet grill for the elements than the Lone Star Grillz pellet grill. This thing is made like a tank, holds heat like a tank. It's crazy. That's why we're using that thing here today. It also produces a beautiful blue smoke, literally consistently for hours on end. Now for this, like I said, there's nothing else that we have to do. We're literally going to walk inside and in about 2 hours, 3 hours, gonna spritz it. Maybe a little sooner, maybe a little later. Just gonna peek in at some point and see what the surface looks like. The key is when we go to spritz it, you want the rub to be intact. If you take your fingernail and scrape just lightly on the surface, if the rub moves or if the rub comes up, it is way too soon. Other than that, it's about producing bark, and that's what we're gonna let this thing do, is produce that bark. I will see you in a few hours when I'm out here spritzing. So we're in here now, we're about 3 hours in. As you can see, the bark is building super nicely. This thing is smoking well, got some beautiful color. It's still not quite ready for the next step. I did spritz one time about an hour and a half into the cook. I'm just gonna hit a few of these spots a little bit with that beef broth just to make sure it's not drying out. But the fat is rendering down very nicely on this. And in general, these are looking great. I can't wait to give it a try here in just a little bit. Now we're looking for, like I said, 160, 170 degrees in these chuck roasts. Now, realistically, it's more about the bark. We're still not quite where I want it to be, but dang, we're getting close. And we're about that 157 degree range right now. And that's because that ThermoWorks RFX right there is telling me everything I need to know about this cook. We're about 4.5 hours into this cook. We're reading right around 170 degrees in these chuck roasts. And let me tell you what, they are absolutely beautiful. The bark, the color, everything is perfect. It's time for the next step, which is gonna be the braise. Now, get yourself a foil pan. It's the easiest thing. Let's get these chuck roasts down in there for the next step. Oh, man. Those look so good. Oh, so tender, so juicy. Even at this temperature, they are feeling great. Now that we've got these down into the foil pan, I had to finagle them. It's a tight fit. I'm gonna add about 1/3 of a stick of butter here, and I'm gonna just set that right down into the pan. And I've got a 1/2 of a white onion that I've chopped into kind of some bigger petals. And we're just gonna tuck those in, any blank spaces, any empty spaces down in here. That onion's just gonna help add flavor as it braises in here, because at the end of the day, that's what we're looking for. Pulled beef that is not only extremely tender, but extremely delicious. Now, I left my ThermoWorks RFX down in there in the larger of the two because I need to monitor the temperature just so that I have an idea of when it's gonna be done. At the end of the day, I've seen chuck roast tender and ready to pull just over 200 degrees, and I've seen some that need to go almost or all the way to 210. That final touch, that final feel is gonna be on you. Just know that it's gonna be at least 200 degrees to get there. You want that probe to be butter smooth when you are putting it into the chuck roast. So use the temperature as just a guide to know when it's time to start checking. Now that I've got the butter and the onions in here, the one last step, and I told you we'd be using it again, that is the unsalted beef broth. You're not gonna need a lot, maybe about a cup, maybe 2 cups, because this is gonna continue to break down, but we do need liquid in the pan for this to truly braise. So I'll put about 2 cups in there. And now that we have the broth and the onions and the butter, it's time to get this covered to finish the cook. And back into the smoker. Now for this part of the cook, temperature really isn't a big deal. We don't need to keep going at that 265. We can crank this thing up to 325 or 350 because it's gonna be braising. So we're gonna go all the way. We'll go 325. We're not in a hurry to eat tonight. That's gonna be fine. Once it starts steaming inside that pan, it's gonna take a little time. So you'll see a temperature drop right now. Once it starts steaming, this cook is gonna go extremely fast. So just keep an eye on it. Go inside, rest for a little bit, get something done, and I'll see you in just a little bit. Now the RFX is reading about 203 degrees now. We're gonna get in here and check this. I'm gonna show you what we're looking for. Now be careful, make sure you use a heat safe glove. The steam that is inside of this can burn you. And that's the last thing you wanna do is get hurt making dinner. I'm gonna peel this foil back and it smells incredible. Now, get your instant read thermometer out. I've got the Thermapen 1 here, and we're not really caring too much about temperature. It's all about feel. Just don't poke through the bottom of the foil pan. So I can tell you now that this chuck roast here is not ready. So at 203, it's still not tender enough. So I'm gonna get this closed back up. We're gonna get this pushed back in, and we're gonna let this go for a little longer. All right, the RFX is reading about 210 degrees where I've got it placed in that one chuck roast. I'll pull the foil off because I wanna burp this. That means I wanna let all that steam out because it's gonna continue to cook otherwise. Now I'm checking with my probe and this meat feels tender, butter smooth, butter tender. It's time to get this out. Now, if you set the oven to about 160 degrees, 150 degrees, and keep this covered with foil, you could rest it for hours. You should at least, at a minimum, rest this for about 30 minutes. You could leave it on top of your stovetop, covered in foil. We're gonna go for as long as we can until it's about time to eat, but we're gonna give it ample resting time. I'll tell you what, it looks really freaking good. I'm gonna get this in the house, get it covered with foil, let it rest, and I will see you when it is time to shred the beef. 7 hours and we are done. That is smoked, braised, and rested, and it is time to dig into these chuck roasts and see how well we did. Now the key is being able to shred this. So let's see. I'm gonna pull these chuck roasts out of the juice. We're gonna save this juice in the pan so that we can add some additional moisture to this after the fact. Oh, so soft. I'm trying to be careful. The reality is, how well did we do? I don't know. You tell me. It just melts right in my hand. It smells amazing. It feels so tender. This is gonna be absolutely perfect. One thing to note, and I hope that it translates on camera, is the smoke ring. I'll tell you what, the penetration that we got, that's like 1/3 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch of smoke ring. Now, if you recall when we were talking about selecting your chuck roast, mine had some marbling in it, and that's what you want. Look at the juiciness. It reminds me a lot like brisket, and look at that. It just pulls incredibly. Now, you're gonna say, what can you do with this? You can make tacos, you can put it in mac and cheese, you could do breakfast tacos, bowls, you could do all kinds of things. We're gonna use it to do some meal prepping this week. You could use it for tacos, you could do whatever you absolutely want, and we're gonna do a bunch of those things throughout the week. But what's most important is how well this beef turned out. Now look at that beef. It looks incredible, and there's only one way to find out. That is downright delicious. So delicious that I would tell you I would take that over pulled pork any day of the week, any month of the year, any year of my life. That makes pulled pork a little... If you want recipes with that same reaction and those same results, I've got a ton of videos here at Anderson Smoke Show, and I tell you what, be sure to subscribe, be sure to like this video, but in the meantime, check out this one right here.